reached another episode of the NRW Checkpoint. What's going on, everybody? My name is WebsterStyle, the man, the voice, the fragrance. And of course, as I am joined every week by my man, Brian Sapph. Brian, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Now let's jump right into the gaming. It's a lot of gaming, and I don't know about you, but I love Star Wars. The last couple films, though, didn't always do it for me, but I've always loved the Lego games, and they're now coming out with a new Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, basically encompassing everything. Is that episodes 1 through 9? Is that right? Yeah,
I'm
1
not
through
a Star
9, I
Wars person
believe.
at all.
So it's a new Lego game. Those games are always fun, especially if you have kids and everything. So that is coming out this week, and that is of course going to be on every single blooming platform that you have: PS4, 5, Xbox One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Series S, X, Switch, and PC. And of course, if you haven't played a Lego game, where have you been the past 15 plus years? There's Lego for everything. Indiana Jones, Harry Potter, DC, Marvel.
Yeah.
You play one Lego game, you know how it is. But I've enjoyed the Lego Star Wars games. I know I have 1 or 2 of them, and they're fun. How about you, Brian? Have you played any of the Lego Star Wars games in the past?
I haven't played any of the Lego games. I played with Legos when I was a kid, like the physical blocks and building and stuff like that. But as far as the games go, no, I've never like played them, but they are wildly popular. I do know of them. I'm not like underneath the rock or anything. Like I know about the Lego games. It's just never got around to playing them.
Totally understand. Well, next up, we switch away from a galaxy far, far away and go to the diamond of baseball with the release of MLB The Show 2022. And that's going to be on the PlayStation 4 and 5, the Xbox One, S and X, and the Switch. And if you love baseball with opening day coming up, this is the game for you. Brian, are you a baseball fan at all?
No.
Okay. I always say I'm not a baseball fan. I'm a Baltimore Orioles fan, and that's how I make the distinction. But I love the O's. I love baseball in general. And this is actually, I've never been big into baseball simulators. Nintendo, bases loaded, all that good stuff. Yeah, but as they got more and more complicated, I'm sorry, playing through a 100+ game season is not that appealing to me.
Right.
However, the fact that MLB The Show 2021 dropped on Game Pass last year, day one. I played a lot more of it than I would have if, because I wouldn't have bought it to begin with. And again, this year is dropping on Game Pass day one. And this is the distinction. We talk about this, how when games come on Game Pass, especially compared to PlayStation Now, they're on for a long time. MLB The Show 2021 is just leaving Game Pass to make way for 2022. So it's been on there the whole year. Yeah. And I know so many people who have played this game because it's on Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, it's a way for you. If not, it's on your PlayStation, it's on your Switch. If you love baseball, this is really the only place you need to go. I know there are other smaller baseball titles out there, but for real, if you want a full MLB experience, this is the only game you want.
Yeah. This 2K, right?
No, this is Sony.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, Sony Santa Monica, I think it was, or San Diego, one of the two.
Yeah, I'm not a baseball person. I guess the Rays, but I haven't been to a baseball game since I was a kid. So
got you.
It is what it is, but that's good that it's going to be on Game Pass day one. I know baseball is still very, very popular as a sport, so pretty sure the baseball fans are like that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Next up, we have Chinatown Detective Agency. This is coming out for the Xbox One, PC, and the Switch. This is I wouldn't say a point and click adventure game, but it's an adventure game very much where you go, you explore, you have these cards and whatnot that you see as far as you're talking to people. So it's your, I wouldn't say run of the mill, but it seems like it fits that formula of an adventure game. We talked about Backbone a couple of weeks ago. It fits that sort of mold. So it looks interesting. Definitely, I feel like these sorts of games are tailor-made for the Switch. I love the interface, and especially for a handheld system, it works so well for that on-the-go gaming. So I think this would be a really good centerpiece for the Switch.
It's a detective game, like
I believe, well, it's Chinatown Detective Agency, so I'm assuming it's a detective game.
I'm
If
thinking
not, somebody doesn't know how to name games.
right. I'm thinking of another detective game that was like big on the Ace. Is it Ace Detective?
Ace. Yeah, I think it's Ace Detective.
Is it similar to that? Because that
Oh no, but that was like weren't you playing an attorney in that game? It's like Ace Detective, lead attorney. Yeah,
trying to figure
I know
out.
there was some exploration and some discovery in that, but I don't know how much of a true like private eye detective game it was.
Okay.
But yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about that. So if this is any way like that, then I'm pretty sure a lot of people will have a lot of fun with this game.
Cool.
All right, next up is something I'm pretty sure you're looking forward to based on our conversations, and that's Chrono Cross, the Radical Dreamers Edition. So this is the remake, remaster of Chrono Cross, and this is coming out for everything, I believe, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. So if you are a fan of Chrono Cross, this is definitely for you. Me personally, I didn't get into RPGs until the Dreamcast era. So I'm not that big on, like, I don't have that nostalgia for the old school Final Fantasy. Like, I saw Final Fantasy VII, but I didn't have a PlayStation, but I appreciated it back in the day. I mean, my man, he Bishop Cosplay, he actually taped his battle against Sephiroth on a VHS tape. So again, I tell you guys, I'm old. So I remember watching that way back when. Wow. So I wasn't really big into RPGs then. I mean, I love them now and grew into them, especially with my Dreamcast and the offense they have there. So I never got into these 16-bit RPGs like Chrono Cross, Chrono Trigger, things of that nature. So I've heard nothing but good things. I'm pretty sure there's a large section of people that are definitely going to be clamoring for this game and picking it up when it comes out this week.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of Chrono Cross before, but it's RPG, so that's up my alley. I might be interested. We'll see.
Right, and we'll be looking at the trailer for that a little bit later. Okay. Next up is a game that we're not going to spend too much time on, and that's Godfall, the Ultimate Edition. This is a game that came out as a PlayStation 5 exclusive that looked like ass.
I mean.
And then they brought out an Ultimate Edition, a free-to-play edition. They brought out PS4, and they touted this big exclusive PS5, and nobody cared. Now that it's coming out for other systems, guess what? Nobody still don't care. We don't care. Yeah, nobody has this game like, oh, I want to get this for Xbox. Like, no. So sorry, Gearbox. This is a dud. I'm sorry. Nobody cares about Godfall.
Because I mean, okay, at first reaction to the original trailer for like the game launching or whatever, I'm like, oh, okay, this might be cool or whatever.
Exactly.
As soon as it comes out, I'm seeing all kind of negative reviews. They're talking about the playtime is short and all kind of things like that, which is crazy for a $60, $70 game or whatever. And then, this extra, like, I don't know, supposed to be multiplayer type of addition to the game didn't fare well.
Right.
And yeah, we'll see what happens with the Ultimate Edition. I think they're just trying to, get their get the rest of their story out, and so they can just move on to something else.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss this one as well. But yeah, I mean, the premise of the game, it sounds very, very like entertaining.
Now, this is a game that they need to just pop onto Game Pass, PlayStation Now, and call it a day. It's supposed to be a live service game. Put it on those subscription services and do it that way. And they'll probably have better luck, honestly, because a lot more people will try this game just because it's on those services than they would actually buying the game outright and then to be nickel and dime afterwards.
Right. And to your point, because they had whatever the little PvP or whatever the online thing is, they put that on PlayStation Plus as like a free game. And I tried it and yeah,
that's all you need to say.
Yeah, I didn't do it. It's just it didn't hold me. It was some weird mechanic about it where your character starts all the way leveled up and then you just kind of fight the same boss over and I don't know, it was weird. It's very, very sloppily put together. But to your point, yeah, you put it out on a free thing like Game Pass or PlayStation Plus or PlayStation Now, whatever, and somebody's gonna try it. But that doesn't mean they're going to stick around, because
Right,
I
exactly.
definitely deleted that game.
We have already given this game too much time in the show. Next up is another game we're going to run through really quickly, because this is just a port of Sherlock Holmes, The Devil's Daughter for the Switch. This is a game that came out on everything else way back in 2016.
Okay.
And Sherlock Holmes is a detective game. Not too much to say. Again, these games, I think, in my opinion, are tailored very well for the Switch. So hopefully it does well.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Slipstream. This is a racing game on the PS4, 5, Xbox One S, X, and Switch. And looking at the trailers for it, it looks like Outrun. It kind of gives me that feel of Outrun, only thing a little bit more realistic, but is in that sort of old school Outrun sort of design and graphics, but it's a bit more 3D with so we have a lot of drifting. It looks really fun. I would definitely say, check out the trailer if you're watching this, because unfortunately we won't be watching that one today, but check out the trailer for it and, see what you think. It looks pretty cool. And I don't know the price, but I'm pretty sure it's probably like a $29.99 to $39.99 game based on the gameplay. So it's not one of those $60, $70 games that you have to contend with, but it looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm not opposed to another racing game, especially one that, who knows how different the mechanics will be from another racing game, but it sounds like it's interesting. If it's coming to Switch, then it'll probably do well. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. It's what I keep looking for, Outrun or an Outrun type game to play, and there's literally like nothing.
Right.
And I am at least nothing that kind of satisfies my itch, and I'm hoping this one does. So I'm looking forward to it when it comes out. I'm gonna actually pick this up and see what it does.
Okay, yeah. They usually have an Outrun mode in the big racing games, but for a game to be specifically designed around that would be fun.
Yeah, it would be cool. So last on the list for this week is the House of the Dead remake. Now, Brian, I don't know about you, but I spent a lot of time on House of the Dead when it came on the arcade way back when. It was like 99-ish or 2000-ish, around that time. I don't know, it's late 90s, early 2000s, because the movie came out in 2003, and I know it was a couple years after the film did. After the game did. Mind you, if you've never seen the movie, don't. Let me tell you the best thing about the movie. And I like horrible monster movies, so I bought it way back in the day. The best thing about that movie at the time was on the DVD. Yes, DVDs. There was a documentary about zombie movies, like an hour and a half documentary about zombie movies. And it was talking about Romero, White Zombie, everything back in the day up until the present day, even talking to Romero as he was planning Land of the Dead. I'm like, that was the best part about that DVD. Not the movie, the documentary. Because the movie is nothing like the game. And the game is a classic, and now is being remade for the Switch only, unfortunately. But there's also they have some new controls that are implemented with the Joy-Con, so you can almost use it like motion controls, light gun-ish sort of thing. So I'm not sure I'll be picking up for the Switch, but I'm definitely glad that this game is really out there. One of the things I love that's been done lately is that Saga, while not doing it internally, has had no issues working with other companies, other publishers, to allow them to reimagine and redo some of their classic properties and really give them, these are people that love these games. Like Dotemu did Streets of Rage 4, and that game was absolutely awesome. And you can tell that they love the original Streets of Rage series. And I don't remember who developed this House of the Dead remake, but you can tell that these developers love the original source material. And that's what I'm really love seeing. Sega's now, even with Shenmue, giving Yu Suzuki, even though it was Kickstarter, and I heard Shenmue wasn't that great, but still they allowed him to do it with that Kickstarter funding, and then Sony kicked on some money as well, but allowing these properties to be brought back, even if they aren't doing it internally, to license them out and allow them being done by the people who love them, and really to do it for the fans. I love it when companies really embrace their fan bases and really try to cater to them, because let's be real, the fans are what continuously buy your games year after year, decade after decade. Right. And somebody like me who played House of the Dead originally, like I said, I probably won't buy it for the Switch because the Switch really isn't mine. But that's something I would think about buying because I'm a fan of the games. I have such nostalgia and love for it. Just like buying Streets of Rage 4, it's just love and nostalgia for it. Same thing with Shenmue. I ain't buy Shenmue 3, but when they put out 1 and 2, even though I played both on my Dreamcast and my Xbox originally, I bought it again because I'm a fan and I love these games and I love the fan service these games like House of Dead Remake really do. So let's get into the trailers. First up, we got Chrono Cross, the Radical Dreamers Edition.
Let's go.
Two worlds cross in the triumphant return of this RPG classic. A remaster of the acclaimed RPG Chrono Cross is coming to the Nintendo Switch system. One fateful day, the protagonist Serge wanders into an alternate world. Though it somewhat resembles his homeworld, he finds that he no longer exists here. How did this happen?
I mean, this is actually
what is this
a
mysterious
pretty good
another world?
2.5D
Travel
remake,
back and forth between both worlds to unravel
this
the
is
story.
nice.
Over 40 characters can join your party.
I like the squares
Depending on
doing
the
that because I
choices
think
you
some of
make,
these games
the
don't
allies who
need that
accompany you and the
Final
endings
Fantasy
that trigger
VII
will
remake.
differ.
Right.
You know, this
A number of
2.5D or even
improvements
this
have been
3D
made to this
polygon sort of
remaster.
thing,
Like the ability to turn
I
off
really
enemy
like this.
encounters
Right.
and a newly enhanced soundtrack.
Especially, you know what I'm saying, with it being
Plus, Radical Dreamers, originally
able to
released
on
on
the
the
Switch,
Satellaview,
like-
is included.
the Switch
Experience the origins of
level.
Chrono Cross in this
right? But of
text-based
course, we know
adventure.
Square Enix. There are things that Switch shouldn't have any
Chrono
issues running
Cross,
that they
the
put on
Radical
the damn
Dreamers
cloud.
Edition, dashes and slashes its way onto Nintendo Switch April 7th. Pre-orders
That's dope.
begin today.
All right,
I
so
wish I
that
had
was
played that when it came out.
yeah. So that was Chrono Cross. Next up, it's time for some peanuts and Cracker Jack as we go to MLB The Show 2022.
All right.
Somebody had a wild Cracker Jack.
Good.
Yeah, that's all I care about. You know, this is the thing. I have never, even before this was multi-platform, I have never heard anybody complain about MLB The Show like they did about Madden each year. Like, I've never heard people talking about it's just a roster update. They didn't change anything. They didn't add any new features. It's like every year, and I'm saying this Sony San Diego, I may be wrong, but they consistently push the envelope for this game. Like I said, even for its multi-platform. And now that it's multi-platform is one of those things where like they try to give the most robust baseball experience ever every single year and keep adding to it every single year. Like I said, I've never heard anybody like I don't play Madden. Personally, I've never been in football games like that. The only football game I really love was NFL 2K5, and y'all know about that. So I say with Madden, the biggest complaint is there's no competition, so they don't have to innovate. Conversely, though, with MLB The Show 20 and MLB The Show period, there's no competition, but they constantly innovate. You never ever hear about players of baseball games, this game particularly, complaining, but they aren't trying to innovate every single year. And I applaud Sony San Diego for doing that every single year without any real competition. Because you got the RBI baseball that's out, that remake that has real teams and everything, but that is not the same caliber as this game. This is the ultimate baseball simulation that's on the market, and the fact that you don't hear those same sort of regretful purchases or complaints from gamers says a whole lot about the quality of the game, in my opinion.
I agree with you. I've never ever heard anything negative as far as, you know, like you said, how MLB chooses to innovate the game. I feel like that's a developer thing, because we look at, you know what I'm saying, Sony, well, not Sony, but we look at 2K and what they do as far as Madden and NBA is concerned or whatever, and it's like you said, it's just a roster update. Things that come out in an update. You about to say?
Yeah, well, this is what I'm saying with 2K and like NBA 2K series. The biggest issue is the microtransactions. I don't think they really cheat you as far as the gameplay experience, but with EA and Madden, that has been a vicious cycle for like at least the past decade plus. Really, since they got that exclusivity contract, with 2K5 was the last one that was outside. So they've had it, God, almost 20 years now. That's really crazy.
It's time for a change.
Yeah, without any competition, they succeed the fact there's no competition, so they don't really innovate as much as they possibly could. That year, the 2K5 came out, like that pushed Madden, like that sold more than Madden, like that put a fire under their behind. But what they did was they bought out the license instead of making a better game the next year.
Right. And I think it also says something that football or NFL anyway is just an American sport. Like it doesn't have legs in other parts of the world.
That's true.
I mean, as far as the gameplay is concerned, they kind of limited. That doesn't mean that they should not try to give, their fan base a quality game, because as much as I've been over Madden or whatever, like if another NFL Street came out, I definitely will buy that and play it. Same thing if another NBA Street came out. Like those games are classics within the gaming community or whatever. And I would appreciate those games coming back out. But like you said, people have licenses and all kind of contracts in place to where those games can't even be released to the general public. So I don't know. I think I'm with you. I applaud MLB for making sure that they are not letting their like fans down, their gaming community. Because that's important now. If you're gonna have a game that's centered around a sport that actually is dependent on real life to dictate how the game is actually made, then you definitely need to keep up with or keep in tune with your player base so that you can make a quality game. NBA, 2K, and Madden or whatever, they tend to not care, especially Madden. I haven't heard good things about Madden in years.
Yeah, same here. Speaking of fans, and again, we talked about fan service before. Let's get into the trailer for the House of the Dead remake. Zombies, yay!
Let's see what they're about to do.
This is one of those games where I don't care how it looks. It's all about gameplay.
Yeah. It already got you. That's why.
I mean, it's such a... These games, playing them in the arcade, like, this is what the arcade experience is all about. And this is awesome.
Shurian! I must compliment you. I didn't think you could make it this far. However, this is it. Let's see how good you really are.
Damn. That took me back. I miss little arcade games like this.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things. There's something so simplistic about those, especially those shooters. I remember this is freshman year of college. We were down in Orlando. My team and I, we just lost the academic team competition. We got knocked out in the Sweet 16. So we got our run. We made Sweet, and we were bummed. We lost by like 10 points. We were upset. Damn. We just pumped quarters into Area 51 and beat it like 5 times. Like literally, it's like, all right, you take over. Yeah. Quarters. Like these sort of light gun games just have so much appeal. And House of the Dead is just one of the classics, one of the best, in my opinion. And I'm glad that they're doing this remake of the original. I know they did the House of the Dead Overkill a couple years ago, which also came out on the Switch. Now look pretty good as well. But it's nice to see the original getting an overhaul to meet the graphics. Well, switch really on the graphics of the day,
Right.
but to meet a higher graphical standard, and also then to expand the game, because I forget exactly what they added to the game, but there are a whole bunch of different modes. I know it's like a horde mode and a couple other things that obviously were not in the original arcade ports of this game way back when. So
yeah, it's glad to see it make a return. It'll definitely, you know what I'm saying, put some new eyes in front of it. That's always good.
right.
I know arcades are not a thing of the past, but they're not as
There aren't
popular.
many. There aren't many. It's like you gotta go Dave and Buster's if you want an arcade nowadays. That's it.
That's what I was saying. Like they've merged with other parts of that space or whatever to become something different. But
Right.
those things still exist. Like you can go to a Dave and Buster's and play these type of games or whatever. So I'm glad that they are, you know, at least having the awareness to be like, oh, we should put this on a console, period. It don't necessarily have to be Switch, but it fits. So I'm good with that, because when those people go to like a Dave and Buster's or I don't know, whatever other arcades.
Look, I'm playing this. I'm playing Daytona. You know, those are two I'm definitely going to it again. Both Sega games. Like it's jump. Sega has always just been the king of the arcade experience. Seriously, every game, hitter after hitter after hitter. You know, even thinking about back to the 80s and 90s with their cabinets for like Hang On and Afterburner and everything. And even, you know, not a lot of people saw this. I only saw it once, the cabinet from Moonwalker. Like that joint was amazing.
Wow.
Man, I don't even remember. I think I saw that. I want to say I saw it in Canada. It's a long time ago. Like I saw it somewhere on a trip for a school or something. They had a cabinet for Moonwalker. That tells you how rare it was. Like I never saw it anywhere else. But yeah, Sega's always been a massive arcade experiences, and it's good to see some of their classics really being remastered and brought home for new generations to experience. Because a lot of new people are going to experience House of the Dead for the first time by playing this game.
Right, that's true. I'm glad that they Sega has they get it. They understand they're in a niche space where they pretty much ushered in the transition between arcade and home consoles, and they're not letting us forget it. They're continuing to bring back their classic games.
Do you remember the Jurassic Park game with the Jeep and everything? That's great.
Still fun.
It's still good.
Like every now and then, like like I said, we know arcades have transformed into something different or whatever, but every now and then I like going to a Dave and Buster's or like Andretti's. They have a pretty good arcade selection of games. Yeah, like I like going to these places and just being like, you know what, let me buy some tokens, or you know, it's cards now, so let me fill up my play card or whatever and run some of these old games. Because I think the leaderboard games are starting to, well, they've taken a back seat, definitely. But those games are still like very important. They're the ones that, like I said, ushered us into the console days, like Street Fighters and Marvel vs. Capcom. As far as fighting games are concerned, you have, you know, the shooters like the Jurassic Park game and stuff like that. Like those games they're still fun. It's still important. They're still very good time passers. Like not much complexity to them. Just put in your money and shoot. And
just have fun.
Right.
Yep.
So that's dope.
Speaking of having fun, Brian, what are you up to this week? What's coming up for you?
Another episode, Talk+Play blerdcast. I don't know what we are discussing this week. I haven't decided on a subject matter in particular. It'll probably be music. I've been skipping music for some reason, but
got you.
Talk+Play blerdcast is up for this week, or coming soon for this week.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm the same way. For me, episode 103 of the Sartorial and Geek podcast by WebsterStyle is out. I talked about, of course, Fragrance, my general spotlight. Talked about Moon Knight, my impressions of episode 1. Talked about Halo, my impression of episode 2. Let me tell you, dude, Halo is good. I'm a Halo fan, and I was kind of like from the first episode and how they made changes, but the second episode sold me on the changes.
Okay, I'm glad you said that, because I was gonna wait until all the episodes got on Paramount Plus and then do my subscription and just binge watch it. But I might just go ahead and pay, what is it, like $5 a month or whatever, just to keep up with the show.
What phone service do you have?
Verizon.
Darn it. I was going to T-Mobile give you a year for free.
Oh, damn. Well, I'll figure it out. I got other channels of ways of getting these things. But yeah, I definitely need to go ahead and check it out. I see
it's good.
They've gotten around to the episode where they reveal Master Chief. And
that was episode 1. I have my issues with that, but like the story wise, I like where they're going. If you listen to my episode, there's some things that if it happens, I won't be severely pissed because it's such lazy writing, but I'm going to give them a break for right now. Speaking of lazy writing. So I skipped out on Star Trek this week. So this week coming up with episode 104 is very Star Trek heavy. They released the trailer for Strange New Worlds. I'm excited about that. I didn't do Star Trek because Picard is pissing me off. So it will be a review of last week's episode and this week's episode, Moon Knight. And then probably a lot. I bought some comics this week. I'm talking about a lot on episode 104. So it may be a bit late.
I'll make sure you tune in.
Right. But where can they find you, Brian?
Boom. Oh, on the right side, that's my Instagram, Twitter. I'm there. Here on the NRW checkpoint. And then, like I said, Talk+Play blerdcast. Wherever you can stream. Well, not wherever, but major podcast apps. I'm there. Right.
Thank you, Brian. And of course, you can find me pretty much everywhere. But if you can't think of one, or you can only think of one, always go to WebsterStyle.com. WebsterStyle.com. You'll find podcasts, videos, written content on everything we talk about and we consider redefining the lifestyle of a gentleman. Of course, find me on Twitter at WebsterStyle. Find me on Instagram at WebsterStyle and a Sartorian Geek. And now find me on TikTok at _WebsterStyle. And of course, you are where the nerds rule the world. And this is the NLW, Nerds Rule the World. Follow us on Twitter at the NLW. Follow us on Instagram at New Release Wednesday. And of course, you're on YouTube, so like, share, and of course, subscribe.
Please, there's a button down there somewhere.
Right, click it.
Yeah,
click that bell.
Yes.